Hello everybody, welcome into Hobby Barr. This is Jason, and welcome. If you do any hobbying, feel free to break out whatever medium you do and join in. If not, hopefully you can have a relaxing time. Today, I'll be working on some Vanguard-Raptors from Age of Sigmar. These aren't the sniper variants, these are the ones with the big old DACA guns. And I wanted to try out these Turbo Dork paints. Got in a couple of colors that I plan on using on other armies, and just really wanted to give them a shot, see how they looked. So I'm going to try out the Cool Ranch Blue, as they call it, first. And initial impression of it is it's a pretty nice blue metallic. I'll be using it on my Eandon Wraith constructs for 40k going forward, because that's the kind of Craft World army I am all about ever since Dawn of War 2. But initial impressions are it's a pretty darn nice shade of blue. I really like it. I might do a wash over it, or target wash some of the areas, just to darken them up and make the rest of it pop a little bit better. But besides that, it's a really nice paint. Definitely pleasantly pleased with the Turbo Dork stuff that I've gotten in these three paints that I've used. Give impressions of the others when I get to them, and hopefully it'll be easier to navigate through the video since I'm trying out the chapter markers in this one. Hopefully it'll also be a little bit easier to hear me since I don't think I'll be running music while I'm talking. I'll go ahead and start it up after I finish discussing things with y'all. Anyway, shall catch y'all in a little while when we move on to the white parts of the weapon with Turbo Dork Pearly Gates. So white metallic, which I want to use for Adeptus Sororitas in the future. So that'll be fun, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, catch y'all in a little while. Alright, so now we are moving on to the Turbo Dork Pearly Gates paint. It is a white metallic, very, very white metallic. I mostly want to use it for my Adeptus Sororitas models that I have. Wanted them to have a white metallic armor instead of the black or just straight up white sort of flat look. I want it to be sort of metallic. So that's why I wanted to give the Pearly Gates a shot. Again, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It does exactly what I wanted it to, which was brighten it up and make it shiny with the flakes of metal in there. For whatever reason on this one, the little ring, boop, pops right off. Can't really figure out why that happens. But I think I'll have to go ahead and get rid of that little plastic ring. It didn't fall off on the others. That's why I was sort of confused. But I didn't want this one to be left out without that little black ring, so I pop it back on. Right here. Even though I know next time I go and drop some out, it'll fall right back off. Whatever. Anyway, so we're gonna add the Pearly Gates onto the sort of fancy filigree parts of the weapon. And this is because I initially wanted it to be gold, but I feel like gold would sort of blend in with the arm brace. So I was thinking, you know what, maybe I can just make that folding buttstock area the white and redo the others as gold. And then thinking about it, well, just do all of them white for the fancy filigree parts. That should be okay. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Probably would have been fine just leaving it there, but I also wanted to try out some of the color shift paint from Turbo Dork, which is the Turbo Dork Mother Lode that we'll be applying over this Pearly Gates, because I kind of wanted to see how that would turn out. I'm pretty happy with it. That's what's on the one guy who's basically done up as a test model up there with the really bright shoulders in line. And before I apply the Mother Lode over this, I'll kind of be trying to take a look at him and sort of show the color shift. It kind of doesn't come through well on camera, but hopefully y'all can catch it when that happens. But for now, again, applying Turbo Dork Pearly Gates, and I'm pretty happy with it too. So I might have to pick up some other of the colored metallics from them, because they seem pretty nice. With that, go ahead and cut y'all loose until we get on to adding the Mother Lode on top of these Pearly Gates. Really helps make it pop. So, hope to see y'all in a little while. Alright, so now we're getting into adding the Turbo Dork color shift paint that they call Mother Lode. This is a very interesting color because it's basically a very light one. Color shifts to the sort of tealish blue very easily. It's supposed to also go into sort of a pinkish yellow, but I haven't quite noticed that. I feel like I'm shaking it up enough, though they say shake it up more than you feel you should, so maybe I just have to continue shaking it. And I'll probably try that in the future. I plan on using this paint mainly for the white bodysuits of Harlequins that I have for 40k. Yeah, I have way too many armies, some would say. I would say I have maybe a couple too many. But anyway, we'll be adding on this over the Pearly Gates because I wanted to give it a shot, see if I could use it sort of as a wash replacement. My initial plan is to use the contrast paint Apothecary White over this to sort of shade the recesses and knock back some of the metallic shine towards the shaded areas. And I'll go ahead and give that a shot on the Sororitas models I have lined up. But for these I did want to try out the color shift, at least the really bright color shift. I still have two other ones that I plan on using on Harlequins, which are the Ground is Lava and 3D Glasses color shifts from Turbo Dork. Don't really have anything I want to try those out on right now though, so that's why I'm sort of just leaving those off to the side for now and just giving these 3 Turbo Dork paints a shot. But I'm very happy with their metallics so far, and yeah, I might pick up some more for some other projects. Maybe a nice red for some of my Yanari, since I have some Incubi that I want to run in the Yanari. And I don't think I have anything green that I would need it for, but we'll see if I can find some other stuff to use. Anyway, with that, we'll go back to these Pearly Gates. It says to take about 2 to 5 layers of the color shift paint after fully drying. Depending on where you read. So, because on the bottle it says like 3 to 5, but on the little business card instructions, tips, tricks they give you, it says 2 to 4. So, I go with about 3 to 4 coats, and it seemed to work fine. I don't know if I'm just going a little too fast with the coats, or what, because again, I'm not really getting much of the pink. Maybe that's just because I'm not shaking it nearly as much as I'm supposed to, even though I feel I'm shaking it more than I should be. Whatever. It'll take a little more testing, and I think it'll work out though in the end. But with that, go ahead and continue applying this over the white areas to really make them pop, and I'll catch up with y'all when we're getting on to the gold to bring that gold up to a nice shiny gold. Alright, I was just gonna jump into highlighting the gold with the Vallejo game color polish gold, but I noticed on the effectively sergeant of the group that he was missing a pretty big spot on his helmet. I kind of missed it when I was painting the initial base layer of gold on, and I caught it when I was doing the shade on the helms. So, busting out the base paint I used, the good old Citadel Retributor Armour, and going in there and getting that rear half of the helm that I missed, as well as the bit that's on the crest. So, going in, tackling that real quick, and then we'll get on with hitting everyone and making them nice and shiny and popping. Alright, so we're going on to the Vallejo game color polished gold, and to this I'm adding a bit of Army Painter or paint mixing medium. Started adding in medium to paints just to help them stay a little thinner. Instead of using water all the time on them, I started using medium, just sort of helps not break up the pigment as much, because that water dilutes it in a different way than using a medium. So I've started using a medium. I think what I'll end up doing next time I make a run to local game stores, pick up some dropper bottles if they still have them, because they had a set of Army Painter ones. This way I can decant the Lamy medium and contrast medium into them from Citadel. This way I can get a bit more control of how much I get out of there, instead of I'm going to grab a couple brushfuls of it and hope for the best. But with that, we'll go ahead and get some of this polished gold spread out across more of the highlighted areas. These guys, though I will also do a very light amount on some of the other areas, just to make it really nice and bright gold. The gold and blue being a throwback to their standard color scheme. That, yeah, we'll be using this same brush that I've been using to put the metallics onto everything, which is a kind of beaten up Army Painter base coating brush. It's kind of worn and frayed a little bit, but it's great for putting on metallics, so that's kind of what it's become, my metallic brush. And yeah, I'll just go around all the metal bits, getting their weapon, shoulder pads, helmet, knee pads. I will have to come back and add a little more gold trim to some parts, because I kind of did things a bit out of order. I should have done their leather bits on their belt and the extra ammo pack that's on their waist. I should have hit that first, because there's going to be some gold on that. But I kind of wanted to bring this gold up and just see how it all looked together on the weapon and stuff. With that, we'll go ahead and carry on doing this, and I'll catch up with y'all for the outro. Alright, that will be wrapping up today's episode of Hobby Barr. The last call, if you will. I think that's how I'll do the outros, is have a last call sort of thing. And we'll go ahead and discuss ideas for next episode. Thinking of finishing up the belt area because I have to dry brush some of those little tabbardy bits, for lack of a better way to call them, and get those brightened up a little bit after that soft tone wash. I feel like I just have to go in within a slight off-white and dry brush over it. Similar to the Daughters of Cain army these guys are going to fit into, which I think I'll shoot up a shot of the last unit of Sisters of Slaughter that I painted for that army. I kind of want to get done some Witch Elves for the army as well. This way you can kind of see the color scheme that I'm going for. It's more of a muted earthen tone, I guess you could say. With their overall appearance, other than the patent leather bits on them for reasons. Honestly, for me, it's because it's super easy to do, and that'll be fun to show, because it's basically it's just take a black paint and then throw some gloss varnish over it, boom. Real easy to do. But I don't really have anywhere to put those on these guys, these Vanguard-Raptors. I don't think they'll want any patent leather on them. So I'll probably go with the good old contrast paint method of snakebite leather, because that is a heck of a drug and a really good contrast paint, in my opinion. Yeah, we'll have to hit up some of the areas that I want to be leather, like around the waist and the extra ammo pouch that they have on them. Have to clean up some of those little tabards, like I mentioned. Get the crest on all of their heads. And at that point, I think we can move on to basing these guys and getting them out there with the others of the army. I think I'll throw up an image of the Malusai from the army as well. This way, you can kind of get an idea of the overall color scheme of the army. I don't really have a good shot of the Avatar of Cain that these guys are kind of based off of, with their stony color scheme. Though that's kind of what I wanted them to match. He sort of has that sort of, I guess, sandy stone, dried desert stone look, similar to them, with the gold trim as well. So that's kind of where most of their colors came from. He doesn't really have any red spots on him. Those are just sort of throwbacks to standard Daughters of Cain look, and figured why not go with that for some of their tabards. And yeah, with that, go ahead and call it a day here. And if you have any questions or things you want to discuss, either about this video or maybe ideas for discussion for a future video, leave them below. And go ahead and see you all on the next one, hopefully. Have a good one.